Hello, good morning, friends. So, yesterday we completed the culture medias. Today's topic is culture method. So, in last lecture, we learned culture means growth of bacteria, growth of microorganism is called as a culture. So, for identification, we have to isolate this bacteria in pure form. Pure growth is always needed, and that's why different methods we are applying for obtaining the pure growth of particular bacteria or particular organism. So various methods today we are going to discuss in this lecture. So culture methods employed depends on the purpose for which they are initiated. The indications for cultures are so always very important. This one is always short note onto this. So write about the indication of culture methods or culture. So what are the indications? So to isolate bacteria in pure culture, the first aim of this culture method is to isolate bacteria in pure culture. Pure culture growth we need for identification. To demonstrate their properties, to study the properties of this organism, we have to grow them in pure. To obtain sufficient growth for preparation of antigen and for other tests, antigen preparation or vaccine preparation, always large growth is needed at that time. Sufficient growth we are obtaining by applying these methods. For bacteriophage and bacteriocin susceptibility. So bacteriophage means the virus which infect the bacteria. So such type of bacteriophage typing and bacteriocin susceptibility typing is also useful for the identification, and for that also these methods are useful. To determine sensitivity to antibiotic, the most important AST, antibiotic sensitivity test. So to which antibiotic the organism bacteria is sensitive and to which antibiotic bacteria is resistant. Depends on that we are giving the treatment to the patient, severe patient particularly. So for that also these methods are very important. To estimate viable count. So viable counts means those bacteria which are in live condition. And total count means the count both live as well as the counting of dead bacteria or dead cell. So for particularly viable count, we depends on these culture methods. Maintain stock culture in laboratory year to year, month to month, year to year, or maintaining this stock into the laboratory. These methods are also useful. So we'll discuss one by one. So culture methods are divided into these different groups. So these are strict method, STREAT, strict method, or another name of this strict method is 4-quadrant method. The next one is lawn culture, or another word is carpet. Lawn and carpet is one and same. Lawn culture method. The next one is stroke culture, stab culture, 4-plate method, liquid culture, and anaerobic culture methods which we are applying for the growth of anaerobic bacteria. We'll see one by one. So the first one is strict culture method, or also it is known as a 4-quadrant. Quadrant means 1/4 part of that Petri plate. So 4-quadrant method. So used for isolation of bacteria in pure culture from clinical specimens. Whenever we are receiving the clinical specimens like urine, pus, blood, CSF, so any clinical specimen which we receive from the hospital side, so we are going to inoculate, we are isolating a particular pathogenic organism from that clinical specimens, and that time always it depends on strict culture. So for that, platinum wire or nichrome wire loop is used. So 24 SWJ standard wire gauze, platinum or nichrome wire. Previously we are using the platinum, but platinum is very costly, and nowadays we are using the nichrome wire. So nichrome wire loop we are using. So one loopful of the specimen is transferred onto the surface of the well-dried plate. So take a loopful, that wire is having the loop, and loopful we are transferring at dry plate. Then spread over a small area at the periphery. So prepare well preparation. It is called as a well preparation. Just circle, make a small circle with help of that loop. The inoculum is then distributed thinly over the plate by streaking it with a loop in a series of parallel lines in different segments of the plate. So first segment, second, third, fourth, and finally at the center. So that's why it is called as a 4-quadrant method or 4-segment method. So in all this segment, you inoculate. So what is the purpose of this? So suppose in that first circle, well, where we prepare directly from the specimen, suppose 1 lakh organisms are there. So we are transferring in first segment 10,000 maybe, then maybe 1,000, then maybe 100, 110, and lastly we are obtaining one single colony at the center or in fourth segment, and that is a pure growth. What we learn, one bacteria produce one colony after overnight incubation, after 24-hour incubation, and that represents a pure growth of that particular organism. So like this we are obtaining the pure growth. So on inoculation, separated colonies are obtained over the last series of the strip. Separate colony we are obtaining, and that is colony of a pure cell. So suppose staphylococci. So that colony may be a staphylococci. Salmonella, that colony may be from salmonella. So like that. So this one is the one method. So this one is also strict method. So first quarter, second, third, and fourth quarter. Or this one is the best example here. So here this first one is circle first, second, third, and finally fourth. And you are here, you observe at the center of this plate. These are the small circles. These are the colonies. And one colony from one pure bacterial cell. Suppose Salmonella, Salmonella colony. Shigella, Shigella colony. Vibrio, Vibrio colony. So like that. So such type of pure growth we are obtaining from directly from the clinical specimen. Now the next is lawn culture. The name of this method is carpet, like a carpet in the house. So like that, carpet or lawn culture. Provide a uniform surface growth of the bacterium. What are the uses? For bacteriophage typing, antibiotic sensitivity test, AST, which we are continuously performing in the microbiology laboratory. So by using lawn culture method. In the preparation of bacterial antigen and vaccine, whenever we are preparing vaccines and the antigens, bacterial vaccines, that time large growth, very heavy growth required, and that time we are using lawn culture. Lawn cultures are prepared by flooding the surface of the plate with the liquid suspension of the bacterium. So prepare a liquid suspension, you flood, and with help of the glass spreader, sterile glass spreader or sterile cotton swab, you spread all over the surface, incubate at 37 degrees centigrade incubator, and on next day you observe growth occurs all over the surface. Here you see picture. So this all over the growth occurs. And these are this one is a antibiotic sensitivity testing. So this small white color, these are the antibiotic discs. So this antibiotic diffuse into the medium and kills the organism which are around that disc. That clear cut inhibiting zone indicates the sensitive, means that antibiotic is useful. And here you observe no such type of zone is there, means resistant, that antibiotic is unuseful or it is unable to kill that organism. Resistant. So that we are reporting resistant. So for this purpose, we are using the carpet or lawn culture. Now the next one is stroke culture. Stroke culture is made in a tube containing agar, slope, and slant. So instead of plate, here we are using the tube. At the bottom, it is called as a butt, and while that slopy region is called as a slant. So slant. So we are going to inoculate onto the slant. So provide a pure growth for of bacteria for slide agglutination and other diagnostic tests. So for diagnostic serological test or for the maintaining cultures into the laboratory, such type of method we are using, that is called as a stroke culture. Now stab culture, STAB, stab culture, prepared by puncturing a suitable medium, gelatin or glucose agar with a long straight charge wire. Instead of low, straight wire we are using. So you dip straight wire into the suspension and just you puncture that butt which is present, the bit of media which is present in the tube. So use demonstration of gelatin liquefaction. In gelatin liquefaction test we are using, then oxygen requirement of the bacteria under study, and maintenance of stock culture in laboratory for month to month or year to year. So this one is gelatin liquefaction test or oxidation fermentation medium. That time we are using this spot. Now the next one is pour plate culture method. So agar medium is melted and cooled at 45 degrees centigrade. So take for example nutrient agar 15 ml or blood agar in a tube, sterilize with help of the autoclave and cool at 45 degrees centigrade. When the temperature is around 45, you add 1 ml of inoculum to the molten agar. In that 15 ml, you add 1 ml suspension. Inoculum means suspension in which the bacteria are present. Mix well and pour plus sterile plate. Mix well and you pour into a sterile plate. All these. I love to say it. So in last lecture only, what we studied, agar, any agar becomes solidified below 42 degrees centigrade. If temperature goes down, so there's solidification. Incubate at 37 degrees centigrade and colonies will distribute it throughout the depth of the medium. So incubate at 37 in incubator. On next day you observe what we learn in that 1 ml suspension. Suppose bacteria, 10 bacteria are present. Live bacteria, how many colonies are produced? 10. One bacteria produce one colony. Suppose 25 cells are present in that 1 ml, 25 colonies. Okay. So use Q and estimate of the viable bacterial count in a suspension. Viable means those which are in live condition. Only live bacteria is having multiplication, ability to multiply, and they are able to produce the colony. If dead bacteria is present in 1 ml, it is unable to produce the colony. So that's why this method is applicable for viable count. For the quantitative urine culture, so in so many times in clinically, when UTI is there in the patient, that time we are doing the quantitative urine culture. So the same procedure, 1 ml urine we are inserting into the 15 ml media, and after we are counting the colonies, how many bacteria are present in 1 ml urine. Now the liquid cultures. So liquid cultures are inoculated by touching with a charged loop or by adding the inoculum with liquid or syringe. Use blood culture, sterility test, continuous culture method. So generally in case of enteric fever, typhoid fever or any bacteremia, it depends on blood culture. So in blood culture, the liquid media is there. In that we directly are adding the blood or any clinical specimen. Disadvantage, it does not provide a pure culture from the mixed bacteria. So this one is blood culture bottle. Such type of bottles are conventional bottles are there, or now bacteric bottles are also available. So the media present in the bottle is liquid. So in that liquid, directly we are inoculating the patient's specimen directly, which received from the hospital side. Now the most important is anaerobic culture methods, which we are applying for the growth of anaerobic bacteria. Anaerobic bacteria means those bacteria which grow in absence of oxygen. The well-known example is Clostridium, Clostridium tetani, Clostridium welchii, Clostridium botulinum, and anaerobic bacteroids. So they are also anaerobic in nature. Anaerobic bacteria differ in their requirement and sensitivity to the oxygen. Clostridium tetani is a strict anaerobe. The methods which we are applying for the growth of these anaerobic bacteria is production of vacuum, displacement of oxygen with other gases, chemical methods, biological methods, and reduction of medium. So all we are applying. We'll see one by one. The first one is production of vacuum. Incubate the culture in a vacuum desiccator. Displacement of oxygen with other gases, displacement of oxygen with hydrogen, nitrogen, helium, or carbon dioxide. A well-known example is candle jar. So in candle jar, so here you observe the picture, very simple. So take a glass jar which is having the lid. So you place inoculated plates in that jar. Onto the plates you keep lightning candle and close the lid. So all of you are aware, so whenever the oxygen is present in the jar, so that candle is in lightning position. If the oxygen is over, CO2 is generated, that time it exhausts, it becomes off. So by this method, so all the oxygen is utilized, and here it creates an anaerobic condition for the growth of anaerobic bacteria. But nowadays, so 100% anaerobic condition will not produce, and that's why nowadays this method we are using for the growth of capnophilic bacteria. Capnophilic bacteria means what? Those bacteria which require more carbon dioxide for their growth, 5 to 10% CO2. So those bacteria which require 5 to 10% CO2 for their growth is known as a capnophilic bacteria. And for the growth of capnophilic bacteria, this candle jar nowadays we are using in our laboratory. So what are the example of capnophilic bacteria? Neisseria, then Streptococci, then H. influenzae. So all they are capnophilic in nature. Then Brucella abortus. So that one is also require much more amount of carbon dioxide. So this is about the candle. Now, displacement and combustion of oxygen. A well-known example is McIntosh Fieldage anaerobic jar. So for this, we are using a jar, and the name of that is McIntosh Fieldage anaerobic jar. So consists of a metal jar or glass jar with a metal lid which can be clamped airtight. The lid has two tubes, gas inlet and gas outlet. The lid has two terminals connected to the electric supply. In old model, such type of electric supply is there, but now the cold catalysts are available, and that's why without these electric terminals, instruments are available. Under the lid, catalyst, alumina pellets coated with palladium. You write down this name. So which catalyst is used? So always during your Viva, the name of catalyst examiner asks. So that one is alumina pellet coated with palladium. That catalyst we are using. So now see the pictures of this here at the bottom. This one is jar. It is having the lid, and on the lid it is having one inlet and another outlet, two tubes it is having, and also it is airtight with help of the screw clamp. Such type of model it is. Then how it works? So inoculate the plate, anaerobic plate, whatever the plates you keep inside this chamber and make airtight by using screw clamp. Then from inlet you pass hydrogen gas. So first outlet you attach to the vacuum pump, evacuate whatever the air present in this chamber, close it, and now you pass the hydrogen gas. Whenever you pass the hydrogen gas, so hydrogen reacts with the remaining oxygen and produce water, H2O. And complete anaerobic condition, 100% anaerobic condition is created in this jar. Working, how it works, now we'll see. Inoculated plates are placed inside the jar and the lid clamp airtight. The outlet tube is connected to a vacuum pump and the air inside is evacuated. The outlet tap is then closed and the inlet tube is connected to a hydrogen supply. After the jar is filled with the hydrogen, the electric terminals are connected to a current supply so that the palladinized asbestos is heated. Acts as a catalyst for the combustion of hydrogen with residual oxygen, and here once the hydrogen reacts with oxygen, water is produced, H2O, and create a 100% anaerobic condition for the growth of anaerobic bacteria. So here controls. So to check the efficacy of the McIntosh Fieldage jar, we are using the controls. You write down there are two types of controls: biological control and chemical control. The biological control we are using is non-aerobic organism. So inoculate the non-aerobic organism on one plate, and also you keep inside, for example, Pseudomonas aeruginosa. So Pseudomonas aeruginosa is an aerobic organism. Always it requires oxygen, more amount of oxygen from the growth. So inoculate the plate, keep with this another plate, and after that, if growth occurs, means it is not working properly because some oxygen is there. Absence of growth means it is not working. So it is working properly. No growth of aerobic organism. That one is biological. And chemical we are using is in a small tube. We are keeping the reduced methylene blue. A tube of reduced methylene blue you are keep inside this. In anaerobic condition, in absence of oxygen, it is colorless. That chemical, that's liquid is colorless. But if it exposed to the oxygen, suppose small amount of oxygen is there, so here blue color develops. So that chemical control we are using. Now another also we are using methods, absorption of oxygen by chemical methods. So in which paragalol we are using, so paragalol is a paragolic acid plus NaOH. So in that mix paragolic acid and NaOH, paragalol is produced that utilizes all the oxygen and create. The next one is chromium plus H2SO4. sulfuric acid. So chromous sulfate is generated and that utilize the oxygen and create aerobic condition. And third, and frequently we are using nowadays and very simple is gas pack. So gas pack jar we are using. So contains chemical. So commercial sachets are available. In that sachet, citric acid, sodium bicarbonate, sodium carbohydrate, and cobalt chloride is present. We generate hydrogen and CO2 on addition of water. Just to cut, you add into the water, and whenever you are adding into the water these chemicals, hydrogen gas is generated and carbon dioxide is generated. Hydrogen reacts with the remaining oxygen present in that jar, and water is produced, and again create an anaerobic condition, absence of oxygen. So cold catalyst in the envelope is present also. Indicator here you are using is the same, which already discussed in Macintosh, that is reduced methylene blue tube, colorless anaerobically, and blue color on exposure to the oxygen. Or we use that biological control, the same, that is split of known aerobic organisms known as erosion. So this one is a picture of gas pack, very simple. So it is an acrylic or glass container having the lid. So keep the plates inside. At the bottom, you mix, first you keep at the bottom, fill the water. In that water, system of sachet is available, gas pack plus, just to cut, pour that into the chemical, place the plates and close the lid. So whenever you mix the chemical, hydrogen gas is generated and carbon dioxide gas is generated. Whatever the hydrogen reacts with oxygen, and again water is produced and create a 100% anaerobic condition in this jar. So nowadays we are all over the world, we are routinely using this gas pack jar for the growth of anaerobic bacteria. Now few other methods are also suggested or in study. These are the biological methods: absorption of oxygen by incubation with the aerobic bacteria, or germinating seed, or chopped vegetables. Means all they utilize the oxygen present in that atmosphere and create anaerobic condition system of thing. Then reduction of oxygen. This one is one of the best method again. So by using reducing agents, so which are the reducing agent? 1% glucose, 0.1% hydrochloride, then 0.1% ascorbic acid, 0.05% cysteine, cooked meat pieces, flame red hot iron pieces. All they are reduce the oxygen. They utilize the oxygen to create an anaerobic condition. So these are also frequently we are using. Then after that, one point is there, and that one is the obtaining pure growth. For obtaining pure growth, use enrichment media. So enrichment media use is also important. Then treatment to the specimen. For example, in case of sputum in tuberculosis, whenever we are isolating tuberculosis, we are treating the sputum with NaOH. Only Mycobacterium tuberculosis tolerate that, and death of all other organisms which are present in sputum occurs. So we only isolate the tuberculosis like that. Then by using selective media like the particular organism, for example, TCBS for Vibrio cholerae, or this potassium tellurate media for Corynebacterium bacteria. So for each and every bacteria having its own selective media. So use the selective media. Then for the growth of anaerobic bacteria, we have to use the anaerobic media like RCM, Robertson Cook meat media. Yesterday we discussed. So by obtaining all these methods, we easily obtain the pure growth of bacteria. So thank you. Here this topic over.